千里之行，始于足下。A journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath the feet. We now gather in the Tao to travel the journey together. Welcome to Tao Talks with Derek Lin, where we take a deep dive into the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. I would like to extend a warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us. I would like to invite you to center your thoughts and direct your attention to this moment in time, to the here and now, to be fully present and mindfully aware as we all ready ourselves for this sacred process in the Tao with one another. Now, without further ado, let us continue with Tao Te Ching 26 and finish our discussion of it. As we discussed previously, the title of Tao Te Ching 26 is Heavy Supplies. It refers to the essential supplies of an army on the march in ancient China. Tao sages use it as the metaphor for the essential supplies in our journey through life. We discussed the meaning and implications of this metaphor. As we all march forth in our lives, we should all be mindful of the essentials that we take with us. Here's our one more look at Tao Te Ching 26. The chapter itself is relatively short with 10 lines. And we previously did our sectional analysis to see where the divisions are. It is divided into 3 parts. The beginning 2 lines is the first part. The ending 2 lines will be the last part, or part 3. They bookend or bracket the middle 6 lines. In our last discussion, we were able to go through all the lines in detail, and we covered the last line in our discussion. As the chapter comes to a close, one important point to note is how the end of this chapter reinforced the beginning to emphasize the most important concepts. Line 9 corresponds to line 1. Line 9 says to be light is to lose one's root. Line 1 says heaviness is the root of lightness. In a similar way, the last line corresponds to line 2. Last line says to be restless is to lose one's mastery. Line 2 says quietness is the master of restlessness. Then we brought everything together as one single cohesive image from Lao Tzu. This slide is where we ended our discussion last time. It is one image to encapsulate all the concepts expressed in this chapter. To the left, we use a tree to show heaviness being the root of lightness. To the right, we use water to show the quietness of the depth, having mastery over the restlessness on the surface. Now, in conventional thinking, people usually find being above as considered to be better and preferred than being below. In the Tao, it can often be the opposite. The sage is content to take a humble position seen as below rather than above. As this image will show, it is actually a position of strength, stability, and literally being grounded in the root metaphor. And that is why the title of this slide is Root and Mastery. This reflects the last two lines of this chapter. And the last two lines are, to be light is to lose one's root. To be restless is to lose one's mastery. And having ended our discussion of the entire chapter line by line with this image, we are now ready to move on to the paraphrase. As always, our purpose in paraphrasing is to demonstrate complete understanding by rephrasing the original using our own words, but preserving the original meaning. For Tao Te Ching 26, the first section starts out with the concepts of heaviness, lightness, quietness, and restlessness. Here is the paraphrase I would like to offer. Serious, deep thoughts form the foundation of life, and therefore have greater importance than the lighter emotions. Similarly, quiet contemplation gives us mastery over situations and is therefore more useful than impulsive rashness. Next, we have two lines about the sages and their heavy supplies. So here is the paraphrase I would like to offer for that. This is why sages never lose sight of the fundamental essentials as they travel the journey of life. Their approach is a combination of serious intent, mindful awareness, careful contemplation, as well as self-examination. In the next two lines, we further expand on how the sages respond to the tempting sights they encounter along the way in life as they travel through. So here is the paraphrase I would like to offer. Although they come across luxurious sights and seductive distractions, they are able to maintain their composure, enjoy without losing themselves, and keep themselves on the path. They only need to remind themselves of their true purpose. Then, in the last two lines of section 2, we have the comment from Lao Tzu about handling the complexity of life, or what he calls the 10,000 chariots. Here is the paraphrase I want to offer for that. Living one's life well is like an emperor ruling the empire or a military general commanding 10,000 chariots. It's a responsibility that cannot be taken lightly because life is a gift we should never take for granted. In the last two lines of this chapter, Lao Tzu delivers the most important message, a cautionary note about losing root and mastery. So here is the final paraphrase. If we are superficial in approaching life, we are likely to lose out on the essentials. If we are thoughtless in approaching a situation, we are likely to lose control of it. In order to attain mastery, we must emulate the sages and emphasize the serious and the quiet. So all of those together form the paraphrase of Tao Te Ching 26. We are now ready to move on to the last segment, which is the full circle. So in the last lines of Tao Te Ching 26, Lao Tzu provides a note of caution, as we have seen. Being superficial can cause us to lose our basis in the Tao. Being impulsive, being rash, can cause us to lose our progress in self-mastery. So now we link this back to the beginning and see heaviness as the root of lightness, quiet stillness as the master of restless noise. Putting it together, the message is clear. We need a substantial or heavy approach to life, one that incorporates a quiet yet effective strength. This is the wisdom from Lao Tzu, how to live in the Tao. We can also connect these ideas to the primary metaphor of this chapter, the heavy supplies. That is to say, if we're being too lightweight, too frivolous, not serious, not attentive, and if we're being restless, that is, agitated, nervous, too easily distracted, well, those are exactly how people lose track of their own heavy supplies, their essentials in life. And so losing sight of the most important things in life, for instance, your vision, your direction in life, your hope for the future, that is exactly why many people feel lost and empty. What this means to us is that you and I, we owe it to ourselves to think deeply about what is truly important to us. Question: what are your heavy supplies? What are your essentials? And are you sure? Are you positive you are keeping them close to you? For Tao Te Ching 27, let us remember the final words of Lao Tzu. To be light is to lose one's root. To be restless is to lose one's mastery. Now, let us wrap it up with one last look at the summary pages for this chapter. Summary 1. The essentials of life. What are the important takeaways? It is, number 1, to be rooted in the Tao. which simply means using the Tao as your foundation so that all of your actions and words can flow from the Tao. Number 2 is our further exploration in the concepts of clarity and tranquility. One leads to the other. They are complementary and mutually reinforcing. So, are you experiencing the disturbance of ripples every now and then? How will you let them settle down so you can return to stillness? Lastly, the heavy supplies, the essentials for your journey. Lao Tzu says the sages never leave their heavy supplies. That just means we have to keep our heavy supplies in sight. And this is where I will reiterate that we must take some time to consider what matters most to us. Summary part 2. This is about the complexities of life, living your life, managing your 10,000 chariots. The first point is that you're the military general of your own life. You are the emperor. You must take command of the chariots. They are waiting for your order and direction. And number 2, when it comes to the essentials, I want to specifically focus on the people in your life who are the most important to you. They need to be taken care of. Indeed, I would say they are one of your primary duties. Number 3 is a repetition on the caution against being too frivolous. Managing our lives, ruling the personal empire, these are serious responsibilities. They call for your focus and your thoughtful intent. And lastly, let's watch for being too restless because agitation leads to mistakes. Let calmness prevail over chaos so we can be thoughtful in everything that we do. This completes our discussion of Tao Te Ching 26. It is a profound yet practical chapter from Lao Tzu. Share the Tao. The easiest way to access Tao resources is to visit my author website, dereklin.com. There, you can click on links and go to the webpage where you will find everything listed, such as Taoism.net, with information about the Tao and also about this meeting. Our Facebook community, where you can ask questions or discuss your thoughts on the Tao with others. Our YouTube channel, where you can watch recordings of all our previous meetings. My Amazon author page, where you can find books and audiobooks for your continuing exploration. You can also go directly with the web address dereklin.com/links, as you can see. You can use these resources to share the Tao with the people you know who may be interested. When you see the benefits of Tao cultivation in your life, you can share your experience with others through your comments in Facebook or YouTube. If you find my books or audiobooks to be helpful, you can post your reviews on Amazon to help others discover the Tao. This is the path that I am on, so I can say sharing the Tao has benefited me personally in every aspect of life. I would like to invite you to come along with me to share the Tao. Let us travel together on the path in the journey of life. Our meeting has come to an end, but the journey continues on. Until next time, may the Tao fill you with peace and happiness.